Welcome to episode 11 of the JG Talks podcast, hosted by myself, Lee Johnston. Another very special guest today, Tom Stephenson. Tom, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, mate. Very good. Good to have you here. Got
Thank
some,
you.
Good stuff to talk about. I mean, golf, real estate are quite interesting topical
exactly,
subjects for the two of us.
Exactly,
really. So, I'm looking forward to chatting.
Perfect.
We're on the edge of the summer. How's your summer been? You've been travelling?
Very good.
Yeah.
Golf-wise, been great. Had a lovely trip. We went and played Wentworth, Sunningdale, the board. Had 3 weeks away with the missus doing Europe.
Wow.
Work's been going very well as well, even though people say the summer's quiet. Ours has been really busy, so very happy, to be honest, mate. And then nice to get back into the golf season fully here and then get stuck into work.
Yeah, of course. So you managed to kind of combine the travel in the summer, still working, still getting some business done?
Did some negotiation with the missus to allow the guys' golf trip first.
Of course.
But I mean, you know what it's like in real estate. It never stops for us. So fortunately, she's in the game as well.
Yeah.
So I mean, it just never stops, does it? Whether you got to answer your phone, whether you're away or not, you just get on with it. But fortunately enough, I'm in a position where she appreciates it, and we just keep enjoying our holiday. And if you've got to sit down in a cafe and do 10 minutes worth of work, you do it. So
it's been to do it.
No, it's not exactly right. It's nice to do it in different locations, but then it's fortunate enough that you can go on those holidays, enjoy them through the success of what work allows you to do.
Yeah.
So it's been great. Couldn't have asked for a better summer, to be honest.
Fantastic. So you're ready, you're back, you're raring to go.
Yeah,
and
ready to go.
Kicking on now. So Tom, you are Director of Real Estate Advisory at AHR Group.
Yep.
You are also the 2024 and 2025 Jumeirah Golf Estates Club champion.
Yep.
And the 2024 Men's Amateur Open champion.
That's correct, yeah.
It's not a bad CV, is it?
No, it isn't. It's I'm quite happy with it, to be honest. I'm proud as well. I think it's the best way to describe it.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, we're going to dig into that, especially the golf side.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Dubai now?
I moved here in 2019.
Okay.
March 2019. Started as what would be your typical real estate broker, working for a company at the time. It was called PH Real Estate. I went from there to then go and work for a developer called Swade & Swade, who built banyan tree residences, which, to be honest, kind of really kick-started my real estate career working for that developer. Amazing project, amazing group to work for. Wish they built more residential, but unfortunately that journey came to an end. From there, I went to work for a large corporate called Jones Lang LaSalle. Was fortunate enough to do a couple of big deals there, which at the time, one of the other members here saw the type of things that I was doing and approached and said, would I be interested in setting up the real estate advisory for AHR? And at the time I was like, I don't know. And then he's like, look, come into the office, come and see what it's about, and then we'll chat a bit further about what we think we can do. Okay. And then 18 months in, I'm so happy I made the decision and couldn't think of a better place to work, to be honest.
Nice. And was the move to Dubai kind of like orchestrated? Did you have that in mind for a number of years? Did you just
No. It's kind of a sad story, to be fair.
Okay.
So I moved to the US when I was 18 on a golf scholarship. Okay. Fell in love with it. Thought this is going to be the place that I ended up. Mm-hmm. So I was in Charlotte, North Carolina. Played 4 years of collegiate golf there. Had a great job out there. I was actually working something a bit different. I was a disaster specialist.
Oh, wow.
And then tried to get my work visa extended at that time, and was like, tried to do it with the government, nightmare. And I was like, the only way I could stay was to do my master's. So then I enrolled in Queen's University of Charlotte, stayed there for 2.5 years, had an amazing time doing that whilst also working. Graduated with my master's in what would have been 2017. So then had another work year based on the American visa. Again, tried to apply for it. Unfortunately, didn't get it. And at that time, I actually tried to set up my own company. Okay. Kind of similar to what I was doing on the disaster side, but there was a kind of gaps that I saw in the Charlotte market and thought, right, I can do this. So as I was going through that process, unfortunately, I had some bad family news where my sister was diagnosed with a brain tumour. So basically what the goal was to try and get it all into a place, but I had to move essentially the application process across to the UK. So tried to get it all in place, get it all done quickly to be able to go. And then unfortunately during that time, she actually passed away. Wow. So then we tried to apply through the UK, didn't go the way we wanted it to. And at that point it was like, right, where am I going to go next? Yeah. And my roommate from my first year at university was a recruiter in real estate out here. So at that time it was like, right, let's go and give it a go and see what it's about. And then obviously in terms of the market and the position of it in 2018, it was obviously right at the bottom.
Yeah.
It was quite tough. And then obviously through COVID and everything like that, we're obviously fortunate enough to see the uprise. And I couldn't think of a better place I'd rather be in the world at the moment.
Wow, so it has been some journey to
it
here.
It was hard, I mean, especially for me, my family, what I want to do, where we want to go. But it was just like, I didn't want to be in the UK.
Yeah.
It was one of those places I went back to during the time. Obviously, she was at the end. I wasn't even there at the end. Obviously, for me to go to the funeral and things like that. But then I was like, right, I'm not staying here. Where to next? And it was, I just couldn't think of a better place. A couple of tough years. Obviously, when you settled down, it was so different to Charlotte, North Carolina, which was kind of like laid back, relaxed. Had an amazing group of friends. But unfortunately, obviously, just due to visas, it wasn't meant to be. But here we are now, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, well, mate, obviously, sorry to hear that, a long time ago. But I mean, without going into that side of things too much, do you think that Dubai kind of gave you a fresh start and help? Look, I'm sure you've gone through a hell of a journey with that sort of happening, but kind of Dubai, was that maybe positive that you needed to focus and take 100%.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I still had some tough times whilst I've been here, but in terms of a platform to move forward and grow as an individual, and it's more so the people here as well. I think everyone wants to help everyone in order to achieve more, and the positivity and the drive for people to continue to move forward, I think, is what grows on you and then helps you to grow as well. So I think, in terms of a fresh start for me, it was 100% needed. Even though it felt like I was starting from ground zero, I honestly just couldn't think of a better place to be. And it's strange because it's like people go to me, would you go live back in Charlotte where you were? And when I go and visit, it doesn't seem like the same city it was. It's nice to see my friends that are still there, but to me now, life is here. And when I think about my future and at some point thinking I'm going to have kids and obviously start a family here, from that side of it, I just couldn't think of a better place to be for that either. So no plans to go anywhere and just keep moving forward. I think
lots of people are saying the same, and I love what you're saying. I totally agree there in terms of like everybody wants to help here, right? You get a sense of that across Dubai, whether we're in JG and the golf club, and there's people that you can build relationships and connect. And if you need to find someone to speak to, or if you need help with someone to come fix them at home, like everyone's up for it, right? And it's a big part of the community of Dubai, I suppose.
That's it. And I mean, I think we're fortunate with obviously JG as well in the golf club. Like the amount of people you meet up here are just amazing. And like anything that you kind of need, you can get done. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to give you a prime example what happened this morning. Like I've had a high net worth client move across to the UK, needs some help with a couple of things moving across. And he's like, he just wants essentially an ultra luxury car in order to rent for a month to month while he gets settled. Quick message into the group chat, 5 minutes later, the lads have flicked you across 4 options that you can send to the client. Do you know what I mean? It's like the help you get here from everyone, and like you said, the little things just make such a massive difference.
And it's great, like value add that you can then offer.
Exactly. I mean, he thinks I'm great, but I've just sent a message to my mates in order to be able to.
Don't give away all your secrets,
exactly right. But that's just the type of place it is, though, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And so, in terms of then the real estate journey, so is it right to say you're more sort of on the kind of like investment advisory side as opposed to what maybe we would say is your traditional real estate and real estate today?
So when I went across and worked for AHR, like when we look at kind of the real estate market and the advice that people are getting given, I wouldn't necessarily say it's all good. We wanted to try and give a bit more of a holistic approach to what we were doing. So there's a couple of different avenues that we take it down. We essentially have off-plan projects that we'll launch to clients, but again, we take a different approach to that. We typically will only launch 4 to 5 a year because in my opinion, it takes that much time to actually sit down and work out what we think is going to be a really good investment. So we go very much data-driven into essentially from our side to make sure that we think it's not bulletproof, but as close as it can be before we then offer it out to the clientele that the group have. which to be honest has been very successful for us. And then from essentially, I guess, a secondary market purpose, we like to think we give a little bit more of a neutral approach, and it kind of works a little bit more like what I would call the US model, where we operate more, and obviously we do some selling if we have to as well, but more so from a buyer's side in terms of helping them to give them a general overview to then be able to help educate them to make a decision that they probably already want to make, right? So it's guiding them to make that decision, and that's where obviously I rely on people like yourselves or other agents for areas such as Dubai Hills or Arabian Ranches in order to obviously help give that overview. But the thing that they like about it is, if I like the house, I'm going to tell them what they like about the house. If I don't like the house, I'll tell them what I don't like about the house. Versus what we find is, if someone sometimes just calls up a listing agent, they'll just tell them that this house is the best thing since sliced bread and this is the only thing that you should be buying. Whereas we just kind of give a bit more of a neutral perspective to what we're doing. And then if I think it's really good, I'll tell them. So that's kind of it. But we've had some success on the off-plan side. We've been number one in sales in the 5 projects that we've launched. But the other way that we've kind of tried to design it as well is we like to fly under the radar. And I think what you're finding with a lot of like ultra high net worths now is they don't want what they're buying in the market either. So it's kind of, whether it's an off-plan, whether it's a residential, whether it's a commercial sale, we do it, it doesn't get promoted anywhere, and we just kind of move on to the next product. And what they kind of, or what we're finding, is the referral network that's coming from that way is massive, right? Because, I've dealt with these guys, they do it, they don't put my name everywhere, they don't post it all on social media. And I get there's an aspect to people having to use social media to get the content out there, but we just kind of like to do it on the fly under the radar approach, which people do appreciate.
Yeah, no, you can see that, especially with the type of client that you're dealing with, high net worth, ultra high net worth individuals. Most of them don't want their assets and whatever they're up to being shared all over the place, right? That's the type of people I are. And in terms of the investors you're working with, you mentioned individuals, high net worth. Is it all individuals? Are you working with institutional investors as well?
Exactly right. So we
globally, or like just Dubai based?
So we work with family offices, institutions, high net worths, and what we would call your typical retail client as well. So it can be anything up from whether it's your 1 million dirham first investment up to your 300 million commercial asset. It really just depends on essentially what the client's appetite is and what they're looking for. But again, it just goes back to that kind of holistic approach to when we're doing it, is to try and give them an overview to make sure that they're not missing anything. But I think the thing is, and the way that we treat it though, is the 1 million dirham apartment is no different to the 300 million dirham building, you know, and that's essentially the level of service that we're trying to offer. So we don't treat anyone different, you know. And again, whether it's your normal person versus high profile figures, like they're all the same people, right, at the end of the day. And it's just making sure that they all receive that exact same level of service to make sure they're happy with the outcome that they get. But it's fun, like dealing with the family offices is really interesting, understanding their thought processes, the way they're doing it. We have just launched AHR Capital as well, which is going to be a little bit more on the development side, mainly aimed towards commercial. There may be some residential opportunities that arise for that as well. But what we're finding with these family offices and institutions is maybe the flip villas are not that attractive to them in terms of the returns that they can get. Therefore, when we look at kind of the larger projects, and obviously the return on investments when you're getting into it on the construction phase are significantly larger. And this is what we're finding with these large groups coming into the market. And even so, from like the apartment side of it, there's a couple of groups that we've been speaking to where they just want to build and keep, very much more like the US asset model, with your companies such as Greystar or Northwood Raven, where they just rent the whole asset out. But what's also interesting about the way they're thinking about it as well, and what Dubai also needs, is kind of affordable housing too. Because obviously if they're building it and keeping it, from a rental perspective, they can obviously bring the price lower, because the construction price is what they've based it off of versus what the person's going to sell it at, and then go on the rental value based off that. And we're kind of in that boat where, when we look at Dubai, that's an area that we really need to look at. I guess not targeting is probably the right word, but making sure there's stuff that's affordable for these people to live in, which is of a good quality too. So the conversations that we're having with these different people are so interesting. And
is that something that you're able to then, you're kind of advising clients at the moment, look, this is a potential gap in the market?
Yeah,
because
100%.
A lot of people have gone, oh, we've done this, we're doing this, and there's maybe a lot already doing it, and you're like, well, actually, what about this? No one is really, because I think that is a it's an interesting point in this market right now with prices going the way they've been. That affordability is getting harder, right?
Yeah,
so
for
there
sure.
is somewhere to bridge that gap.
I'll give you another prime example of one that I look at the moment as well, and it's one that we did an exercise with a client with. If we look at Ras Al Khaimah and what's going on with Ras Al Khaimah at the moment, every developer's going into that area and putting 5-star branded residences or 5-star hotels. The opportunity that we actually looked at is doing 4-star or 3-star, because the biggest thing that they're centralised or putting everything around is that casino, right? But when we look at people that go to a casino, they don't necessarily want to spend all their money on 5-star hotels or 5-star branded Airbnbs. They'd rather stay in something that's a little bit cheaper and then obviously just go and spend their money in the casino. So we kind of do look at it from where are the gaps in the market. And again, going from the investment side of it as well, we kind of have a different approach to when we're looking at off-plan. So what we think at the moment is you're seeing a lot of developers that are putting stuff into the market that maybe 600, 700, 800 units. But when we're looking at our investment strategy to it, we want stuff that's realistically no more than, let's say, 200 to 300 units. And then we look at more the boutique developers who are offering you the unique USPs that go with it. Because what I think you're finding with those 600, 700 units, which a lot of people aren't thinking about, is when it comes to a point where the building's going to complete and hand over it, and if you want to sell it, you're competing against a significant number of units. If I can't get it at that price, I'll just go to the one next door. And it's no different from the rental perspective, right? And that's what essentially you're just leaving yourself a little bit exposed to, you're competing against too much, even though the building might be nice. Whereas if we look at things which are essentially, let's say 200 units is kind of like the sweet spot that we like, even less. If you know that the building's good, you know that the units are good, and we know that the amenities are great, that supply and demand is always going to remain. And when we look at kind of the bigger developers, everything that they do is exactly the same. It doesn't change, does it? And what you're seeing with kind of the smaller boutique ones is they care about the product that they're putting into the market a little bit more, which then creates the value for the client. But the developer also stands that they can't charge the prices of what the EMARs and the KILs can. Therefore, that gives them, our opinion, the chance for a little bit more capital appreciation from a sales perspective, but also the USPs add for good rental growth. So we do take a very different approach to the way that we look at real estate. And then obviously we still rely on people like yourselves as well, because I'm not a secondary market expert. And I would like to see a little bit more integration between agents in the market, because I think we would all achieve more doing it.
Absolutely.
But for me, it's looking at relying on your expertise. Like, you know everything inside out with JG, right? Like, the only person that I need to call is you, to be able to go, right, this person wants JG, I call Lee. Lee, I need help with this, can you help me? Right, cool, this client's coming out, let's go and show them these things that you've told me, you know? But I think they appreciate that as well, because I can give them the general overview, but they also understand the fact that I don't know everything, but you know what? I'm going to take you and show you someone that does know it.
And it's such a good point. We were talking about this the other day, because again, like from your side to some extent, and this is a thing in real estate, is the ego, right? And you kind of have to drop your ego at that point. Say, I'm not the expert in this. However, I'm very good at building a good network. So I've got good people here, and I'm going to bring you in. I'm still going to look after you. So I'm going to listen to what this expert says, but I'm also going to give you my opinion and my input. And I know enough as well. Like, I know you say you don't, but you do know enough about, and that's also something. And I guess it helps build the trust with the client as well. You're not, I can do everything, and I think it's listening to you talking about what you're doing. You can already see the value. I mean, just talking about, looking at different developers and the opportunities, and that shows the value in working with somebody like you, right? That's not just going, just buy off plan. There's this launch of 7 million units and you should just get one of them and hope for the best. It's like, actually, this is what we think. And at the end of the day, you're offering advice, right? And it's very well structured.
That's it. I mean, I think that you see it a lot in our market at the moment, that agents are throwing around, you're going to make X amount, like 50% return. It's just like, where have you pulled this number from? Do you know what I mean? We can try and work out what it's going to think, but we don't have a crystal ball to go, this is exactly what it's going to be. But it's more so at the moment, because Dubai's evolving so rapidly, where's the shift's going to move to, and where's going to become more central, and what makes more sense for people to invest in? Because as the city does continue to evolve, pockets are still going to develop and make sense to invest. So that's kind of the reason why we do only do, like, I guess what we would call 4 off-plan launch on that conversation. It takes so long to work out if you're doing your job correctly to go, this makes total sense to do. There's a launch every 18 hours, right? but I love it. Every day's different, right? You don't know what you're going to come across. You don't know whether the family office is going to call and go, right, cool, we want a commercial, or we want to build a commercial, or what opportunities you think there are for us to get into the market, to the guy that calls up and goes, I want to make my first investment.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
So varied, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it sounds like you're very busy as well, mate, which begs the question how you manage to be so good at golf, but we'll get onto that.
Yeah.
If we look at Dubai then as a whole, and obviously we don't unfortunately have the crystal balls, but you are probably seeing a lot of money. If you look at, again, the difference, I suppose, with those is, we're more on the residential and seeing the people that are, some of the people are still buying investments, of course, but generally people are making them their homes. And you're dealing with the individual and institutional investors that are bringing money from different parts of the world. Are you seeing a very positive outlook still in terms of Dubai as a whole, as a real estate market going forward, or are you at the point where you're like, this can't continue, something's got to change, and it is going to change?
I think I don't really see any sign of it slowing down. I mean, a number of big factors that we look at, if we just kind of take a little bit of a step away and look at the commercial side first, like if we look at Class A office space, it's over 95% occupied. And it's a massive shortage, but you're seeing so many companies move to Dubai at the moment. Obviously, a tax purpose is one of them, but it's also their ability to get to the rest of the world. And that's why I think you're seeing so many people. I think that the stat that someone told me was you can get to 92% of the world's GDP within an 8-hour flight of Dubai. Wow. And I mean, again, I can give a prime example. I work with a group that was based in Singapore who moved their headquarters to Dubai because they then want to be able to reach out to Africa and South America. Okay. So it just becomes more central for them to do so. So that's one thing that we're seeing the shift on. But then I think we're in a fortunate position where Dubai have stayed very quiet on what they're doing. Yeah. And if we look at the rest of the world, we're watching the rest of the world make their own decisions, such as the UK, such as Spain, such as Holland, by where the mistakes that they're making are allowing Dubai to take advantage of it, and whether it's the wealthy individuals that are moving across here for tax purposes. But it's the little things that we appreciate as well, which I think are huge. The quality of schools, the safety, the infrastructure, and their ability to continue to develop is what I think. And again, I think when we look at it from a residential perspective as well, and people moving here to live, we can argue there's a supply of good villas that people want to move into, right? And even from apartments, I would still argue there's not that many great apartment buildings in Dubai. And there is definite room for growth with regards to producing quality that goes into the market. Yeah. There's obviously definite room for more attractive villas to come to the market as well. And I think with these factors, I don't really see any sign of it slowing down. Do you?
No, pretty much agree. Yeah. Again, it's all, from our side, when you look at the little things, the lifestyle, the safety, the schools, people want to live here and the life, they have their family, have their kids growing up or start a family here. And there's just so many positive, it's not perfect, I don't think anywhere in the world is perfect, but it's, as close as it can be. And again, I think when you look at other parts of the world and what the leadership do here, they do everything very well. And it always seems to represent everybody that's living here and be it's positive, and things can change, and they change very quickly, and they do things very quickly, and it's just, this is it, and nobody ever goes, oh, that wasn't really good. It's like, actually, that was great. You can now get a golden visa for 10 years. That's it. Which then benefits people that are living here thinking, great, don't have to do that every 2 years, and then it brings more people in and attracts more people. So loads of little things like that.
And again, from the investment side of it, like when we look at the returns that people are able to get, whether it's residential and commercial, it's tough to essentially say it can be beaten anywhere in the world at the moment. But again, if we look at the price per square foot that people are paying for residential and commercial, and we're talking about prime real estate here, it's cheaper than the rest of the world. Yeah. So I guess everyone kind of has their run. And I went to Singapore in February to a family office summit, and speaking to the family offices that were in Singapore, they watch Singapore have their bull run, and a lot of them feel and are getting to understand Dubai, and they feel that Dubai's coming close to having that bull run as well. So when you're listening to these family offices do that and make these kind of decisions, thinking, right, okay, we're going to start to diverse where we invest, it's exciting, right? Because it's coming from outside and people looking in. And I just think it is going to continue to grow. But again, you need to kind of be sensible on what you're doing, because it's still not going to grow on everything, right? And you still need to take your time and understand and realise that, if I buy in Dubai, it's not necessarily the price is going to go up or the rental yield is going to be great. You still need to take the time and develop to what really does make sense on what you want to do.
Yeah, because it is, there's no just buy something and that's it, you're guaranteed. Exactly right. It's like you still have to, put the effort in.
That's probably the hardest part of my job. It's like when I have an advisor who's got a client and he's got a property portfolio, and he sits there and he wants me to evaluate the portfolio, and unfortunately I haven't really got much of a filter when it comes to it. If it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, it's bad. And I'll tell you why it's bad. And there's a lot of people that do not get the correct advice, and you feel sorry for them. And you see so many people make mistakes, and you just don't want to see it happen, right? Because it does put people off. But taking the time to help them understand it and realise, okay, can we fix it? This is the main thing.
So a positive outlook going forward.
100%. I think for everything. I mean, we're fortunate, right? We see the type of individuals and that are moving into JG just at the golf club, and we look at we're fortunate, the group of pros that we play with that are all moved here, and you just don't really see any sign of it slowing down, do you? I think when we look at the numbers that were coming out of the UK as well, they were expecting a ridiculous amount of millionaires to move here. So, but I think you can only argue it's positive.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's good. So you'll be even busier then over the next few months.
Mate, that's the goal,
So golf. Obviously, I mean, spent some time in the States, college golf, you've got to be a pretty decent player to get to that level. Where did golf start for you? Were you 2 years old swinging a golf club?
No. I was probably about, 12 or 13 when I started doing it. I was still playing football at the time. Just to kind of start with my granddad, really, who got me a membership at the golf club and got involved up there. Really enjoyed it. Then got to the point where I got half decent at it and gave up football and started to play golf a little bit more. And then kind of really started to kick on when I was probably 16 or 17. And at that point it was where, America is probably the dream in order to go and play university golf. So I was fortunate enough to get a golf scholarship at a college called Belmont Abbey, which was just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Amazing city, amazing people. Still speak to my golf teammates that I was there with. But it was interesting. When I got to college, we had a bit of a tough time in terms of we actually had 3 golf coaches in 4 years. And I kind of fell out of love with the game, to be fair. And then once I graduated, I'd probably play, once every 3-4 months.
Really? Wow.
So kind of got to the point where I wasn't really playing that much. Then obviously the move came here. Again, wasn't really playing that much. And then did the summer membership. To kind of just get back into
that was at JG?
JG, that was a long time ago. When there wasn't a waiting list and they were doing these type of things.
That was a thing of the past.
So that was that. And then again, I was just kind of doing it for more fun, really. And then I got to the point where I was enjoying it again. It's like, right, how good can we get at it? And then I started to take it a bit more serious. Obviously, was taking lessons down at TFA. I was using Jamie down there as well from a fitness and performance perspective.
Interesting.
And at that point there, it was like, right, I reckon I can get half decent at this again. So just decided what would have been last year, but it would probably been 18, well, I'd say 2 years ago, probably this point 2 years ago. But I was like, right, let's really put an effort in and see how good we can get. Wrote down the goal list. First goal was, right, I'm going to win the club championship. And that was the only thing that I wanted to do, was to essentially make sure I could prove myself to do it. I think I had a good year the year before. I think I probably came top 5. So it was good. But then this year was like, right, I'm going to do it. So I put everything into it. Unfortunately came out on top. That was great. And then it kind of just flowed into the Amateur Open after it as well, which was an amazing feeling to win that. And then was fortunate enough to get to play on the Challenge Tour as well.
Wow. I didn't know that, mate.
Which was an amazing experience.
That came on the back of the Amateur Open, did it?
Right, I played the Challenge Tour at Saadiyat, which was, again, like, unbelievable golf course, amazing experience, and it kind of just made me want to do it again. And then I guess from there, it's just like, how far can we push it now? And obviously I'm not young anymore like I was. I'm 35 now. So I think I've got aspirations to try and qualify for a US Mid-Am or something like that is probably the ultimate goal at my age. So I still just want to continue to try and get better and better. I captain the scratch team here at JG this year as well. So that's an exciting move for me, I would say, to really understand obviously the politics that go on with picking a team, because we're fortunate enough that we have a really good team. But it's a great position to be in as well, that we have such a good team here, and I'd like to think obviously we can go all the way this year, and hopefully we do, but I just absolutely love it.
It's so good to hear as well, mate, like the ambition, because you obviously are busy, right? You're not playing golf is not your full-time job, right? No. In fact, it's not your job. It's just it's a hobby that you are very good at and can do very well at. But to have the ambition, you know, and it's not like you're sacrificing anything with work. You're full on and you're traveling. You're doing a lot there. So is that how do you like manage that side of things? Is it a challenge, or do they go hand in hand?
I mean, work obviously takes priority, right? It's at the end of the day, I have myself, I have my business partners that I work with, and ultimately the goal is to put food on the table, as it is for everybody. And golf, we kind of treat as a social aspect, but I'd like to think I work quite hard at it. I go to the gym, not always showing it, but go to the gym 5 times a week. Kind of golf specific in terms of what I'm doing. I try and get to the range a couple of times a week just to keep it ticking over. And then we are fortunate enough that we do have the 500 Club up here on a Friday afternoon to make sure that we are playing competitive golf. And it's the other way that I kind of look at it as well, especially when we're playing 500 Club. I know I'm going to play golf on a Friday afternoon, but from, well, not even Monday, every day apart from that, you're doing what you need to do, right? But it's interesting. I found myself, especially from like Monday to Friday morning, being more productive at work because I know I'm going to play golf on Friday afternoon. And it kind of has that argument of, would it be better to go to a 4-day work week? And I can see why people do it, because you make sure that you maximise that time before you play golf. And don't get me wrong, if there's something I need to do on the golf course while I'm doing it, I will. You know what I mean? There's times where I've sat there with a laptop on my golf buggy making sure that I get stuff submitted in order to make sure that everyone gets what they want. But I guess that's the thing. We're fortunate where you work hard, you play hard, and you try and create the balance, and you kind of fit everything into the gaps to make sure you do what you want to do. It's probably the best way to describe it.
And do you think golf, I guess, going through the process in the States and, you know, again, to play golf to any kind of decent level, you have to have a level of discipline, right? And do you think that as sort of golf as a game has helped you then in your career, in business and what you're doing? And
I mean, golf opens up a lot of avenues. Like in terms of if someone goes, do you want to have a meeting and you want to go play golf? I'm like, oh yeah, go on then. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's the best place for people to do business, 100%. Right? You're there, you're with someone for 4 hours. They respect a good golf game to start with. It helps. And it just gives you an opportunity to get to know someone even more. But the thing that I actually love doing in those type of meetings as well is giving people tips that make them better, which makes them excited to obviously enjoy the game a bit more as well. But it opens up a lot of avenues. Fortunate enough, my business partner Dan, who's also a member here, he's created some amazing avenues through golf, which, I mean, we get to play at some amazing places and meet some amazing people, you know. And not only Dan, but obviously Dan Nader and Rishad with the Paragon Cup that we got to go with as well. And it opens up so many doors to business opportunities that you didn't even realise.
I know, it's a great way to do it, isn't it? So going back to the club championship, let's talk about that, because obviously, you know, as a member of any golf club, the club championship is something that everyone looks at and is part of now. You know, there's not many that can have the ambition to actually go on and win it. And it is I can't answer this question because I've not done it yet. You never know. But it's a proud achievement, right? And, you know, your name is on the board here twice, and it will be forever. Now in Jumeirah Golf Estates, which is a world recognised golf club, like, how does it feel?
I mean, I think the biggest thing that it actually taught me, so obviously I won tournaments when I was younger, but it was 15 years, and it taught me that I could still win. And to be able to say that you're the club champion of the home of the race to Dubai is something special, right? Not only once, but twice. And it's like, it is an honour and a privilege to be the club captain of somewhere like this. And I mean, I'll never forget it. When I won the first one, I cried on the green. I sat in the shower afterwards and cried. And I'm just like, I was so happy that I'd done it. Do you know what I mean? And it's the biggest event of the golf club year, realistically. And I'm just fortunate and proud to be a member here and playing it, and luckily enough to win it.
It is. No, it is an achievement, mate, and you definitely should be, and it's good to hear that you are proud, because to do it once and then to do it twice. And
then the goal will be to do it next year as well.
Sure, I know you won't be giving up there. I've got to ask you about your pre-round routine.
Yeah.
Is it, I hit 26 balls with 2 different clubs, you hit 600 balls. Tell us a little bit more about that.
You've got a smile on your face.
I've got a big smile on my face.
So in terms of my 3-round routine, it is exactly the same every time, regardless of what time of day it is.
Yeah.
I always have 2 pints of Stella before I start. So it's one of those things which helps me to calm the nerves. But again, it's like, it does just, I know it sounds weird, it just becomes part of your routine.
There's going to be so many more people in the Crafty Fox now after
well,
they've
it was
heard
funny,
this.
like last year, so obviously typically what happened with the club championship is the best players always go out last.
Mm-hmm.
So in previous years, my tee time's been about 1 o'clock. But this year was the first year that they changed it, where the best players went out early. So my tee time was 6 a.m. So fortunate enough, I was in a position where Franco opened the bar at 5 a.m. for me in order to continue the routine. So I still managed to get the 2 Stellas in before 6 o'clock. So it's one of those things. It's routine, it's important to stick to, and then it's obviously a few balls on the range and right, I'm ready to go.
Perfect. Right, there you go. So tips from the top.
Yeah, that's it.
2 Stellas, a few balls on the range
and away you go. Yeah.
Perfect. Right, well, I'll be trying that this afternoon.
I'll highly recommend it.
So in terms of the golf, what's next? Obviously, there's more tournaments. You're just enjoying it. You collab. You're working it from the business
So for
side.
this year, we've got obviously the scratch team that we're going to finish off. So we've got a couple of the group games which are left for that. And then obviously into next year really is, again, try and win the club championship. I think the biggest goal next year is to try and qualify for the US Mid-Am. For me, I've been looking at doing it for 2 years. It's more about potentially finding the time to do it, as well as feeling like you're in a position. For me, with my golf game, and everyone will say it, I'm very, very good inside the ring road, is the best way to describe it. And it's about making sure that I can get to a position where I can start to travel with it. And it's trying to get that monkey off the back to realise that it can go, and I can go and play other golf courses and play them well. So that's the big goal for this year, is to try and work on a golf game that travels. I guess continue to work hard again as president. I think I don't see any point of that slowing down. We're in a fortunate position where we started the business 2 years ago, and it continues to grow and grow and grow. And it's obviously going to get busier and busier and busier is the goal. So take care of that, and then obviously just keep working on the golf game. It is keep doing the fundamentals well, which is the main thing that people forget about, and then just see where it goes. You keep doing all the, and it's no different to work. You keep doing all the right things, the rest will take care of itself. And you'll stand there on a range, you'll get a feel, and you'll be pinging them left and right. But if I keep feeling it, it will eventually start to ingrain and go. And it's no different with work. We go through it, right? 100%. You're doing real estate and you're doing viewings and you're with a client and you're like, I'm doing everything right here. And it just doesn't seem to be closing. But for all that work that you put in, it will essentially take precedent and will happen. So that's kind of my mentality with everything that I do. Just keep doing the right things and the rest will be okay.
Nice. And JG, so obviously a big part of the golf club here. We've talked about community a little bit and touched on it, but how much do you value Jumeirah Golf Estates as in the clubhouse and the being a member here in the club? Like, what's that done for you over the last 2 or 3 years?
I mean, it's one of the biggest parts of my life, right? It's my second home. Like, it literally is. Like, whether it's a different place to work or play golf, like, you kind of sometimes take it for granted how good we have it here. Like, we have an amazing group of members. I get to play with some of the best players in the world on a regular basis. I get to, if I need some help, I get to text some of the best players in the world on a regular basis and say, can you help me with this or can you help me with that? And then from a work perspective, it opens up so many different avenues as well. The other thing, obviously, in terms of the competitiveness, we have the 500 Club on a Friday, which we are fortunate enough to play with players such as Paul Waring, Richard Mansell, Andy Sullivan, Dan Brown. And when you kind of look at what those guys have done, I mean, Paul won the Rolex at Abu Dhabi. Dan Brown won in Germany this year, and it's nice for us to be part of that. They're in that group that we're part of as well. But the other thing that you realise is they're just normal lads as well who are in the same position as us as they move to Dubai because they want to better themselves as people too. And we're all in it to get better. And I mean, I still think about it. Every time I drive up the drive, I'm like, I'm so happy to be here.
Totally
Do you know what
agree.
I mean? And the thing that I think so exciting about it still as well is you still don't know everyone.
Yeah.
And you've got no idea who you're going to meet and sit down and have a chat with for 10 minutes. And then that person could change your life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this place is there's such a diverse group of people and they're all so different, yet it all brings everyone together through one sport essentially, doesn't it?
It's so good to be able to combine everything, right? You've got the enjoyment of playing golf because you like it. It's good fun. The people that you meet in, business connections, friendships, of course, all that, and it's all under one roof, so to speak.
That's it. And I think we're fortunate when we look at it as well. We look at the different places that there are opportunities to be a member at, and I did look at it when I first joined, and I couldn't think of a better place to be a member in Dubai, right? We are fortunate enough. We have the Race to Dubai finish here. It's proud when I can say I'm a JG member when you host that event as well. And it just continues to get better and better. Obviously, it was sad that Stephen left and went to Emirates, but now we've got in Dan, and it's a different concept and vision that he sees with it. And I love where he's trying to take it as well. So the fact that the people that work here are to continue to help it evolve and get better and better is better for everybody, right? And again, it's obviously the people that we're talking about who have become members as well. Obviously, Paul's an ambassador. Richard's a member here now. We're obviously talking about the football players and the snooker players which have joined as well, which is really, really cool. Do you know what I mean? And to get the thing that I love about these people as well, and there was a cricket player that we played with in the 500 Club last year, it's just listening to these guys talk about their careers. Do you know what I mean? And the things that they've done. But they talk about it in such a normal way that's like incredible to sit there and listen to. They don't do it in a way like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. They're just like a normal bloke that you can sit there and have a pint and discuss, what happened at the football at the weekend. But to get to listen to these guys' careers and what they've achieved is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it is. It's so true. And they're just, again, normal people, good people. And again, they're on their own mission and, doing
I think
their own
I do
stuff
it from time to time. You'll sit there and you'll just look around and you're like, what am I doing here? Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel so fortunate that I've been able to get to this position in life. And sometimes you do take it for granted. And you just need to take a little bit of a step back and go, I'm doing okay here. And that's what this place does to me every time.
Definitely. No, I love that. And I love what you say. And I have the same feeling when you're driving up the drive. Like, I get a sense of, gratitude. And you're like, I'm driving up the Jumeirah Golf Estates Drive to come play golf, to meet friends, to have a meeting, to work, basically. And what a place
That's
to do
it. To be able to bring everything under one roof is special.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, mate. Well, before we let you go, we're going to do a little bit of a quick fire round. So feel free to give some context if you want, but it is quick fire. So, earth or fire?
Earth.
Earth or Majlis?
Earth.
Quick, like that. TFA or the driving range?
TFA.
Driving range or the Crafty Fox?
Ooh. Crafty Fox.
Crafty or Botter?
Crafty.
Okay. Castori or Basola?
Katsuri.
Race to Dubai winner this year.
So
I guess you can say the overall winner and then maybe the winner of the event.
I think it's tough to look past Rory.
Okay. Overall?
As the overall, I would say. I would like to see Marco Penge finish it as a winner this year. If we look at it, he hits it as far as Rory and you need to hit it long round here. So there's no reason this golf course shouldn't shoot him. So I would think there's a good chance that Marco can do it. I'd love to see Richard or Andy Sullivan do well as well. Richard's certainly got the length to do it. It'd be nice to have essentially what we would call a hometown
local
boy win
some
it.
night in the Crafty.
That'd be unbelievable, mate. I'll never forget when Paul won in Abu Dhabi. But it'd be even better to be able to do it at the Crafty. But I think Marco will have a good chance this year. He's playing really well. He was unfortunate not to make the Ryder Cup team. But the main thing for him is obviously he's pretty much secured his PGA Tour card for this year. And I think there's a good chance that he could finish it off in style.
Nice. Okay, good shout. Club Championship hat-trick, yes or no?
Yes.
Love it. Tom, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very
Anyone
much.
wants to connect with you, they can get you on Are you all over Instagram? Are you
I'll
LinkedIn?
let you share my phone number is probably the best way to do it. Yeah, it's all under the radar. There's not much on. There's not much on social media. Fine. LinkedIn's obviously another way to do it.
Yeah.
But
so we'll share your LinkedIn, and then people can reach out, get a phone number, and obviously you'd be happy to chat.
Absolutely, yeah. Anything.
Help anybody in terms of investment, play golf, give them some tips on how many beers to have.
Or if they just want a 10-minute chat on what they think they should be doing. I think that's the one thing that we look at it as well, is that we don't charge for people to sit there and listen to our opinion, and if they just want a little bit of advice on what they're doing or where they want to go with things, feel free to reach out.
You'll probably even buy them a coffee or a beer, right?
We'll probably have a Stella, it's probably the easiest way to do it, and then we can go from there.
No, perfect, mate. Thank you very much. It's been good, very good to hear the story, and
no problem.
I wish you continued success for golf and business. And we haven't even played golf together.
No, we don't. No, we did try and fix you on the drive, mate.
Didn't we? You did do a pretty good job of that. Yeah, so now all I need to do is go to the crafty and I'll be sorted.
Yeah, well, we'll do 2 pints in the crafty and then we'll go out and play.
Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.